Hello guys, welcome to Daddy Share Space and welcome to my channel. So today I'm coming to you with yet another unboxing. This right here is going to be the Woodpecker 6-inch stainless steel Dell Square. I wanted to pick it up to take over for my Milwaukee carpenter square that I have in the shop because Woodpecker tools have a reputation of being accurate, and I have had some small issues with my Milwaukee big box store ones in the past, so I wanted to go ahead and do an upgrade. Now the reason why I have this, even though I have the bench dog square over there as well, is this one's a little bit different design. This is more conventional by comparison to the bench dog square. So we'll take a look here and see what it looks like in the package. All right, so we get the paper out. We've got the square, I'll set that to the side. You do get a racket to hang it on the wall. You do get some directions as well, which you can see right there. And then setting this portion aside, let's pull the square out and take a closer look. So this is a nicely weighted square, in my opinion. It does have multiple setup blocks built into the base, 3/8, ½ inch. On this side, you've got a 1/4 inch. You've got, multiple markings along the blade here to be able to mark in different increments. This is basically like a carpenter square, so it gives you the ability to mark your angles if you want to do that. It feels very substantial in the hand as far as the weight of this particular item by comparison. This Milwaukee one, it feels very light by comparison, even though the Milwaukee actually looks to be bigger too. So, but just taking a look, obviously the Milwaukee has its own benefits to it, but I really like this Dell Square. This is like an aluminum. Obviously this one has the stainless steel blade and then the aluminum cheek. You do have, like I said, the offset so that you can work very efficiently with 3/4 materials to find your center on the end of a board, or also to mark your mortises if you want to do that. This is just a very nice premium square, hopefully more accurate than what I have here in the Milwaukee. Now comparing it to the bench dogs, which is also a very accurate square, if you look at them head on, you can see that there's a difference in the way that it's designed. This one, they decided to cut it off here, whereas this one goes all the way down. Now the bench dogs offers a different feature. Obviously this one is in millimeters, but it gives you the ability to set your tools according to this gauge here. And then there's also measurements on the blade. So maybe in a later video I'll go over more closely this one with this one, but right now let's focus on the Woodpecker. Let me see if this works with the Festool pencil. I don't know if it's small enough to fit in there, and it is not. So you can't use it with the Festool pencil. You do need to have like this ½ inch lead or whatever this is, 0.5 millimeter lead. So there you go. And then you can mark on all the different interval down your workpiece, which is super nice. Obviously, if you want your angle, if I go over here to, let's say, 10 degrees, and then I mark it on this back side, I got my 10 right here, I've got my 90, and across here, I've got my 45-degree angle. So yeah, it's just a versatile tool to have in the shop. Okay, so right here, we've got the Festool 2200 router, and what we're going to demonstrate is how to use this Dell Square as a setup block. Now with the Festool router, all right, we have the plunge action to go down to advance into our stock respectively, right? So right here you have several pins, if you will, and this is how you're going to set the depth of your router. So when you go all the way down to the base like this, and so just imagine I have a router bit in here. I don't have one, but or I don't have one in place, but just imagine I do. So you're going to go all the way down to 0 to your workpiece, right? And this is going to be set at 0, this portion here. So we'll let this go. It's all the way down, and we are set at 0 at this point. Now I'm going to lock my router here at the 0 point. So you can see here that this device is touching right there at the 0 mark. So that's saying that when my router is down, it is touching the material. Okay, so if you take a look at how the router is set up right now, so if this is 0, right? So this is set at 0. Now this portion I can slide up and down, right? I'm gonna leave it at 0. So this is plugged in at 0. So when I lift this up and set this stop block inside of here, it goes to 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to lock it in. Just like that. And so now, when I go to plunge my router, 0 is going to be when I touch the work. But this is going to give me the ability to go down even further below my work to the depth of 1/4 of an inch based upon the setup block that I use right here. Now, admittedly, this is not ideal because it's super short, but let's try it again with the 3/8 inch block because it's actually a little bit wider right here. And then we could try it with the 1/2 inch that's right here as well. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put it down to 0. I'm going to lock the router in place at 0. And then I'm going to release and drop that down to 0. And then I want to put the step being right here. I'm going to put the step in here and let this fall right down on the step. All right, so what we're going to use here, now I've tried to use the steps on this base here to set the router, and it's actually giving me a little bit of a problem simply because of the fact that it doesn't have enough depth to reach inside of there. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the router at 1/8 of an inch, and we can do that by using the blade here. This blade is 1/8 of an inch, and it's easy to fit inside. So right now everything's unlocked. I'm able to lift this up and set this on the base and drop it down, and now here we are set at 1/8 of an inch on the scale. I can lock this in like this. The router is locked in the down position representing the surface of the material, so that now when I drop the router, instead of it stopping right at the base, it will proceed to go down 1/8 of an inch deeper because of the stop block that I use, which is the blade of this device. So that's one of the handy ways that you can utilize the Woodpecker Del Square, is to set the depth of your router. So if I pull the router off the edge here like this, and when I plunge it, as you can see, I can go all the way down and it makes contact. It's going to make contact right there, which means it's going below the depth of the table by 1/8 of an inch, which is what I wanted it to do. So you can see that motion there. And that was made possible by utilizing the blade of this device, 1/8 of an inch, as my depth setting tool for this particular router. Happy to have it in the shop, and I look forward to using it for the applicable purpose. Thanks for taking time to watch the video. I'll see you in my next one.